What's going on, YouTube? That cheap theatrics. That's just a blanket that we held up with our hands and then dropped it if you couldn't tell. Eat your heart out, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh,
I'm Localjohn1812, and this is my buddy.
Jrod84. What's up, y'all?
So guys, you know what we want you to do? We need a name for our show. And we've been throwing around some ideas. I said Local Cats. I like that one.
I was gonna suggest, I was gonna suggest J&J, sports talk. But of course I know ESPN has something already brewing over there with J&J.
We don't want to get any copyright infringements.
That's it. I want ESPN to think we're stealing from them.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Unlike ESPN stealing from the consumers.
All right. See, there you go.
That's why they gotta fire people. I'm just joking. I love ESPN. Better than Fox Sports. Better than Fox FS Bullcrap 1. All right, so there we are. He has, and then we also thought about Double J. Did you already say that one?
Yeah.
And
I didn't say that. Double J Sports Talk. Whatever.
Sports Talk, because Local John and then J Rod. So there's two J's. L and J Sports. Like Local John, but Local and J Rod. L and J Sports. I don't know. There might be a copyright. Someone out there in the world may own L and J Sports Company. Probably.
I don't know.
Okay, so here's what we want you guys to do. In the comment section below, put what you think we should be called. And if it's something like Two Guys and an Idiot Couch, call us that.
Oh,
put
God.
what you really think our name should be down in the comment section below. Be nice, be fair, be mean, be what you want to be. Say what you want to say. Put it in the comment section below. If you guys could do that, maybe we'll take your name under consideration and we'll give you some credit for saying, hey, someone from somewhere helped us come up with this idea. Or we took a little bit of what they offered and we made it into our own. Yeah, that's a good idea, don't you think, Jay?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Alright, it's a good idea.
Honestly, if we don't happen to come up with one of our own.
If we don't come up with... Let me scoot in just a little bit more, Jay. Oh, my head's cut off all the time. Okay, I'm back. Me and Jade, he's like my brother. He is my brother from a different mother. So, look, check this out. Let's dive into this like a swimmer in the Olympics. The Clippers are gone. Was it because of Blake Griffin, or is the team just with J.J. Redick and Chris Paul kind of aging away from each other? We did establish that with the age difference. 28 for Griffin, I think 28 or 29, and Jordan was 28 or 29. But then J.J. and Chris were around 31 and 32. So.
Yeah, maybe that might have something to do with it, but probably my thing is probably because the Clippers, they've had probably, you got the big three. A lot of teams have the big three players. The big three now. The Clippers have that, with Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan, and Blake Griffin. Along with supporting, cast players, like Redick, Rivers, Jamal Crawford. Now, with that being said,
Jamal Crawford's 02. They said 17 years in the league, didn't they, today when we were watching it?
I think so, yeah.
So he's aging too.
So with that being said, you kind of have to wonder, is this... well, you probably also didn't mention, that Redick and Griffin become free agents now. So you probably have to wonder, could this be the end of the...
Well, they're losing one.
Of the big three... with the Clippers.
Yeah, they're going to lose one of the two.
Maybe not. Honestly, not for sure. I said, well, one thing is for sure. Paul Pierce, who did join the Clippers, possibly for another shot, another ring. Today was his final game, so Pierce decided to call it a career today.
And Blake Griffin, nowhere to be found. He's injured. So, and it also brings back to our predictions earlier before. I said that I said the Bulls would beat the Celtics, and the Bulls would have beat the Celtics if Rondo doesn't get hurt. I think they would have. but they didn't. I lost that part of what I was thinking. But my two teams that I still think will be in the championship, the Wizards and the Warriors, obviously are still alive. However, the Wizards did lose their first game today against the Celtics. They did lose that game, game one of that series. But I still don't sweat it. I still don't sweat it. If you're going to struggle against the Chicago Bulls with Rondo, you definitely should struggle against the Washington Wizards with John Wall and Bradley Beal.
Well,
makes more sense.
Well, you know what? I'm not sure. I mean, okay, because the Bulls, they had, they had Rondo, and they also, had the veteran and the former NBA champion, in Dwayne Wade. Also had Jimmy Butler. I think the Bulls may have messed up is probably, sending Rose and Noah off to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Now if those two that stayed, it would be an entirely different story. The Bulls would not have been no 8 seed struggling to get in the playoffs. The Bulls would probably be somewhere in the top 4 or 5. Honestly, but that's a whole nother story.
Also, too, let's get on to the NFL draft. My Kansas City Chiefs traded up to the Buffalo Bills at number 10. Gave up a little bit to get Patrick Mahomes from Texas Tech. And some people say they were there, they could have got Watson. What if they really wanted Watson, they could have got Watson. Watson got drafted 2 picks later at number 12. So they could have took Watson. They took Patrick because Patrick fits Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs hunt their strategy more. And they're actually looking for a quarterback that's smart and can deke and dunk like Alex, but who also could throw down the field if they want to, and Patrick can do that. Yes. He's got the arm to throw down the field, which was good. Watson goes number 12. Mm-hmm. And then I think Kaiser to the Browns was a good pickup. Deshaun Kaiser from Notre Dame.
Yes.
That was a good pickup for Cleveland, I think, in the second round. Because they didn't pick a quarterback, and in the first round they kept on skipping over people, and so it was kind of still nice for the Browns to. And I'm not a Cleveland fan, but Cleveland, please quit sucking at football. I mean, I know you guys don't want to hear that, but it's the damn truth. I mean, it's damn true that they just suck. I mean, they suck worse than the women at the brothel.
With right
okay, let's stop there.
Wait, hold on now.
I'm going to stop there.
See, you're going to probably get us in trouble. Okay, but anyway, basically what he was trying to say is that maybe Cleveland, found that player. I see they found that player, that they could, that they could possibly see, as a franchise player, that could, possibly turn the franchise's fortunes around.
Yeah. And I think Kaiser, I don't know if Kaiser's going to be this Hall of Fame guy, this NFL championship quarterback, but believe it or not, that's what Cleveland needs. Because they've been messing out, they've been swinging and swinging and swinging for the fence. I think they said something about in the NFL draft. They drafted over 17 or 19 quarterbacks within an X amount of so many years as of late, and none of them's panned out. So they've been swinging for the fence, and including one of our own Kentucky babies, Tim Couch. And it just didn't work out. It just has not worked out. And you hate to see teams just keep going through that, even though you dog them and you make fun of them. But really, deep down inside, you don't want to see anybody fail. You're positivity. Like, I dog on the IU Indiana fan base. But let me tell you, Indiana, please come back and play better, at basketball. I really mean that, because it's more exciting when you guys are better. And I think it would be more exciting if Cleveland was better. For once, I said something nice. I don't think I should.
Honestly, they probably would. I mean, because the Browns, they've been facing fertility for some time.
Mm-hmm. And what goes around comes around, but what keeps coming around can shine better eventually. It don't always have to come back that it's going to suck. That you're going to suck. Eventually, it just explodes in your face, and you win something. See, probably cut my mic if I was really on ESPN radio. But no, I didn't say anything bad there. I think it's something you guys can read into. It was a joke. It's another Lamar Odom reference.
Oh, God.
Keep it live, Lamar. So anyways, we also made a trip today, me and Jay. I posted a little video on there of me and my family getting to meet Bam and sign an autograph. Jay's got a picture he probably will put up on Twitter or even his Facebook page of him taking a picture with Bam. We both went there and we seen Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
I said his name correctly. I've been saying his name correctly really well. And I told Bam, I thought with your body size and the way you played, you should have been #1 overall pick. Now, of course, a lot of people say, are you delusional? Malik Monk. And of course, what's his name? Alonzo Ball's father would be like, LeVar Ball would be like, are you kidding me? My son's the best player on the planet. Okay. But your son's also 6 foot, what? 6?
6, 7, 6, 8, something like that.
6'8", 125 pounds.
Well, you know,
he's not 125.
Honestly, well, that you really don't have to worry about. I mean, mainly because if you guys did watch Kentucky UCLA the Sweet 16, De'Aaron Fox silenced the critics for good, outdueling Fox, dropping 39.
Outdoing Ball.
Ball.
Yeah.
Fox dropping 39. And
getting a W.
Mm-hmm, and
when
Ball,
it matters more.
Mm-hmm, and Ball only scored 10.
Okay, and then get this too. Remember LeVar Ball? My son's going to have numerous people with shoe contract deals. And it looks like it's not sounding too good for a shoe deal.
Honestly, we know it's not. A lot of them decided to drop thanks to him. Which, you know what? That's probably that's a good thing. Honestly, to me, that's a good thing. Honestly, you know what? I mean, for crying out, he's a young kid. Really, right now, he really should be worried about trying to get no endorsement deals. Mm-mm. I mean, he said he was going to NBA draft. Let his focus be on the NBA draft. Then I said the NBA draft combine is right around the corner. And I said let him do well in that. And the NBA draft is in June 22nd. And if he gets drafted, by a team, and he gets to play, let his play on the court speak for itself. And if it happens to turn into, if he has an all-star season or possible MVP season, whatever, then you can talk about endorsement deals. But for now, you should not pay attention to either. Don't even give that a second regard.
Speaking of combine, NBA draft, we do have one guy in particular waiting to see if he's going to say, hey, because he hasn't hired an agent, I'm going to stay and not leave, even though I haven't even got to play yet. I've just been practicing.
Hamidou
Diallo. And we're waiting to see on his information. I think he's filling out the process. Bam, who got to play all year and practice, and who is a bigger player, more muscular, bigger. And on some of the mock drafts, he's only like around 30 or 24th. So this guy here, unless he has a great combine, probably is not going to get drafted even where near Bam's getting drafted, which is late first. So then he would probably be, if he's lucky, middle or late second and maybe not even drafted. So the kid should come back next year. The draft class is not as good next year, and he'll be one of the shining stars next year. So I keep saying it and stopping before I say it because I'm trying to put emphasis on for that guy next year. Now, we can't tell him what to do. He's a young man. He needs to do what's best for his family. And if that's what's best for his family, he's getting some type of feedback that he may get drafted late first or early second, maybe go ahead and go. You never know if you're going to blow out your knee or, whatever. Something can happen. So I understand. What do you think?
I would say, in my opinion, yes, he should. I would say, yes, he definitely should. I mean, because, we never know. He could possibly, be one of the. Honestly, he could be in the starting lineup. Never know. Don't know what's gonna happen. Or he probably could be that. He could be that special sixth man off that bench. That comes in. That is something reminiscent to what
Darius Miller did.
Something.
But Darius was a different player, obviously.
Something to Darius Miller, or maybe.
Or like a Booker.
maybe Devin or
Yeah.
or Dominique or Derek. One of the
Yeah, but I mean, way better, honestly, than at least no offense Dominique or Derek, and no offense Darius, but way better at least than those three players coming off the bench. But he would be at the same level of a Booker so far. Booker's probably better because he's been in the NBA. He's proven even more. And we don't know about this Diallo, but we'll see on him. Also, we're waiting on another guy who's not putting his name in the draft, but he's waiting to put his name with a team in college basketball. Texas is starting to gain some momentum. They were at 5% in the Crystal Ball rankings at 24/7 Sports, and now they're up to 20%. And the last few people that have put in who is going to get him, they have said Texas, 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 Texas. So, and you know who I'm talking about. Bamba. So, Bamba, we know you watch the show.
Oh.
No, we don't. Bamba does not watch the show. But, Bamba, if you do watch this show, what advice would you give Bamba if he's watching this show right now and he wants to know, okay, you're a Kentucky fan, you're going to be biased. What can you do besides being biased and just say, we're the best? What else could you say? Can you give me some statistics? What could you give him to persuade him?
That's a tough one. Well, you know what? I'd probably say, and listen, well, Coach Cal will probably tell him, okay, look, based on his, size and ability, and I say he's probably looking at him like, look, I know you're capable of, double games most nights, and possibly, blocking several shots. Probably not at the level of an Anthony Davis or Noel or whatever, but he's capable. He could be capable of doing so.
Right.
I said, you never know. He could be a stats stuffer, like Davis was. Think about it. To say Davis during Davis's time in Kentucky, he necessarily didn't have to score a lot of points. Honestly, because he can get up and down the floor like a point guard. And he did. Honestly, he scored, he rebounded, and everybody saw he blocked shots left and right.
Right. If it was me, and I had to pitch him a statistic, I would say obviously we've had the more, I think it's lottery picks in the last 8 years than any other team. I think we're like 2 or 3 ahead of Duke, I think, in lottery picks. So that would be one statistic. But I would say forget about that statistic. And I would say if you compared that number to Texas, we're ahead of Duke, which Duke is second in running. Now, don't leave you out, Duke fans. But Texas is at 20%, Kentucky's at 50%, and I think Duke is somewhere around, 50, I think 30%. Duke, so I'd make 100% worth of picks. Okay, so, but what I would say to him is we're ahead of Duke with number one, or I think even number one overall picks. I'm not sure about that, but we're ahead of Duke definitely in lottery picks over the last 8 years. So under me, and you're a good player, I can almost guarantee you a lottery spot. Okay, so that's one statistic. The second statistic I would preach to you, I'm not going to preach to you about our equipment and our stadium and how much more resources we have. Here's what I'm going to pitch to you. I would simply, if I was a recruiter, go in there and go, this is the best advice and the best statistic and the best information I can give you to help you make your choice. And I wouldn't even tell the kid what I was doing. I just write Kentucky. I wouldn't even show him. I just write this down as I'm talking to him. Kentucky, I draw a line. I write Texas on the other side. Now, I would think of kids his size in the last 8 years since Cal's been there. And I'd write down Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, Willie Cauley-Stein, even Patrick Patterson. I just write all these names down. Nerlens Noel, okay? And even Scal, because he's played a little bit better this year. I'd write all these big men named down, right? And then right next to their name, I put probably where they were drafted. Now, Patrick was a little bit later, but I'd still put him in there just to prove.
Yeah.
Because before Cal came, when Billy had Patrick may not have been drafted if Billy stuck around.
Oh, no. No. Absolutely not.
And then I go to the other side of the paper, and I'd get on the computer, because I can't name this off in my head. I'd write down who I could in the last 8 years that was a big man from Texas and where they were drafted. I guarantee you Kentucky's list is bigger and the draft numbers are better. And I would just hand it to him and say, there you go, son. Tell me what you think. Which side do you want to be on?
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, all of that sounds good. But honestly, here's another point. What if in some instance he possibly turns out to be one of these rarities who actually wants to stay in college. Possibly get his degree. And let's say you'll play basketball. Play basketball. And honestly, that could go either way. Honestly, yeah. There is a chance. He might have an injury or two along the way. Which has happened. Honestly, but say if he does have to get to his senior year and he's playing the best basketball of his life and leads the team to a national championship, and if he turns out to possibly be the national player of the year, I'd say he would leave on a high note. And his NBA draft stock is through the roof.
He could be number one pick.
That could be. It could be.
When's the
possible.
last time we've had a really big man? I mean, Okafor, I think was he at number one? Did he get picked number one, or was he in the top three? I can't remember that year. Who?
Okafor, I believe, was picked second.
Yeah.
Second or third after Towns, because Towns was number one.
Towns number one. So that's the last time big man.
Towns was number one.
Towns, and okay. So if he says, well, coach, I don't know if I want to go 1 year. Okay, here's our thing. Cal could say then, look at all my players who've stayed 2 years. Look how their draft has improved. Their draft stock. Two of the players came back for 2 years. Their draft stock improved. Terrence Jones, Deron Lamb. And they won a national championship. I'd put that list against the Texas list. Then if he wants to go 3 years, I can show him a Willie Cauley-Stein, right?
You can show him a Cauley-Stein or
Derek Willis going 4 years. I could show him a Derek Willis, who probably some people don't think could get drafted. I think Derek gets drafted late second round. Because he can shoot, because he's tall, I think Derek Willis gets drafted. What do you think? I'm talking last few picks of the second round. Maybe even last pick.
Well, that's it. Well, Willis probably could. I mean, if you don't...
What is he, 6'10"? He shoots threes, and he does dribble okay. He can dunk. He can rebound. I mean...
Yeah, that's to say. And if you didn't notice, last year, during the SEC tournament, he did a lot of the little stuff. I just say, he even blocked shots.
Yeah, and I think they had a college basketball... all-star game thing, and he was like one of the leading scorers.
Yes, they did. Final Four weekend. He also got invited to the Portsmouth Invitational, which is
so he keeps playing those tournaments. Guess who are at those tournaments? NBA scouts. Yeah. They're there. They're watching him. He could be playing himself into the second, and that would be so great for John Calipari. Because believe it or not, I think Cal loves all his players the same. I think he cares if they all get drafted or if they all play NBA ball. But I know he probably would care. Not a little bit more, just he would care a lot because of the Derek situation before the beginning of the season. Could have went down the wrong way. And the fact that Derek bounced back, played even harder, played in some few tournaments for the Combine. Now, did he get an invitation to the Combine?
That I don't know.
They said 5 players did of the 6. So, that would be Bam, Fox, Monk, Briscoe.
Briscoe got one.
Briscoe. And
the 5th one, I don't know if...
the bio. No, not Adebayo, but Diallo. He got invited. Now, Derek Willis didn't get invited because Derek may have to play overseas now that I think about that. That's all right.
Well, hey, it's okay. I mean, hey, Darius Miller's playing overseas, and he's won a championship wherever he is. So it's worked out.
Right, he's made money, a couple $100,000 each year.
Yeah, maybe at some point they can find their way back to the U.S. and they could, and they could play in the NBA.
Maybe Derek, Hawkins, and Miller end up on the same overseas team, and you have yourself a overseas Kentucky connection and end up winning a championship together. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Never know, could happen, possibly.
So, baseball talk, a little bit of baseball talk, because I love my Yankees. Boy, they're playing good baseball. They're playing good baseball. We're about a month into this season now. We're getting a little bit past some shaking off cobwebs, so teams are going to start kind of not separating themselves completely, but you get a little bit more picture of what your baseball team is. A lot of people thought the Yankees were too young. I think the youngness is kind of wearing off. Judge is having a good year. Castro's doing great. The starting pitching rotation is coming into form. Yankees are playing good. Good baseball. Good baseball. So if you're keeping up on that, that's a good thing.
Yes, I said. Honestly, yeah, it's true. Of course, the defending champion Cubs, not necessarily off to the
13-10 last time I looked at their record, I think.
Yeah, not off to the hottest start right now. I mean, you necessarily don't expect them, pick up right back where they left off. Expecting to come out of the gates dominant. I say, well, but then again, baseball is a long season.
Long season.
Very long.
And also, too, I don't know if you guys watch wrestling, but tonight's a wrestling pay-per-view. So if you have the Wrestling WWE Network for $10, you can watch tonight's pay-per-view, which should be a good one. Roman Reigns versus... what is my big guy's name? I forgot him. Roman Reigns versus... Oh, my. Forgive me, guys. Oh, my. Strowman. Strowman. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how I forget the mountain size of a man who pushed Roman Reigns on a stretcher off a ramp. He was on a medical stretcher. He pushed Roman Reigns off the ramp, and the stretcher falls over. Now, of course, a lot of people on YouTube paused the video, right? They said, you can see here when they come back to the scene, because they cut away from the scene real quick, shows the refs breaking up the, Strowman from hitting Roman Reigns, and when they come back, they said it's a fake dummy on her. Then Strowman picks up the emergency vehicle, the emergency truck, picks it up on one side and tips it over. Now, a lot of people say there was a little crane on the other side that helped pull it over, like a little pulley system over. Okay, who cares, people? This is exciting stuff. You gotta watch this. Go, Dustin. The Hardy Boys are on here right now. I got it on TV, guys. Turn it on there if you ain't got it. WWE Network. $10. Watch it.
Honestly, well, also speaking of, probably speaking of exciting sports, and probably in case you didn't notice, next Saturday, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, also known as the Kentucky Derby, will take place next Saturday, Churchill Downs, Louisville.
And we might have a show before that where we run down the horses and who we think may win. We will a little bit of horse racing. We'll go over to a local track here in our area sometimes throughout the summer. We, a couple horse bets here and there. So we know a little bit. Someone's wearing blinkers if they've been sick last race or something weird. We know a little bit of information. So we'll try to give you who we think may win. But I wouldn't take those to the bank. No.
Honestly, it would probably make it more exciting if we were at the actual Derby race. We could probably give you a better prediction then.
Better prediction.
Honestly, and of course, we'll probably have to get lottery. Probably have to win the lottery or something just to get in the gate.
That's true.
Gates of Churchill Downs.
Well, guys, we are at 28 minutes. When's the NBA draft?
Thursday, June 22nd.
When is Louisville getting in trouble?
Gosh. Honestly, well, Louisville's found out about their situation somewhere in the middle of June, between the 9th and 23rd. Maybe sooner than that. Don't know yet.
And North Carolina, maybe August, right?
Yes. Honestly, you all forgive me. He has to throw in his digs about other teams. I just said so mainly if you're pissed at the digs about other schools, it's on him. I have nothing to do with it.
I said nothing but a fact. There's a date in June and there's a date in August. And hell might be coming with it. Okay? So, alright, so we got those down, and we got less than a minute here. We'll just say, you can follow him on Twitter at...
Gerard Baker 1. That's my Twitter handle.
I think my Twitter is Localjohn1812. It's supposed to be 1812, but Localjohn812.
No, it's not. It's
John G UK at yes. John G UK.
See.
Oh, my YouTube is Localjohn812. My Twitter is at John G.
Wrong. Localjohn1812.
Localjohn1812.
That's YouTube.
That's right. That's right. And then my Twitter is at JohnGUK, and you can follow us on there. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Please comment about what you think the sports show could be called. How about Two Idiots Rambling? That might be a good name. Write it in the comments section. We may like it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you got anything to say in 9 seconds, 7 seconds?
No, I don't have anything to say, man. Other than good night. Have a good week.
Good week, guys. Later.